and very wise person. If you can't face it, you can't fix it. Ignoring it doesn't fix the problem. Only facing it fixes the problem. It's like me. If I had a water line outside and I was able to see the pipe, and I see the pipe had a rupture in it and the water was just gushing and gushing and gushing out, and I just sat there and looked at it, and I did not want to face it, because if I had to face it, I would have to tackle fixing that broken pipeline that has the water just gushing out. The longer I stand there and refuse to do nothing, even though it was right there in front of my face, how on earth am I going to stop the flow of water, all of that water from that pipe gushing out and gushing out and gushing out and gushing out? If I don't face it, if I don't take action, I'm not going to be able to fix it. It's just going to keep going and going and going and going and going. That's with anything in your life, but that's what's popped into my mind right now. What could I use as a visual? If you don't face it, you can't fix it. Ignoring it. Imagine if I do have that pipe. I look at that pipe and I see that water is flushing out. It is just pouring out all over my yard. It's spilling out into the road. I got a big river now flowing down the road, and it's going in front of other people's houses because of my broken pipeline. And I'm just standing there and I'm looking at it. Not to mention, I'm really wasting that water. I'm wasting it. And I just stand there and look at it. And I thought, oh, well, I don't want to put forth the effort. I don't want to pick up the phone and call somebody to come out here and fix this broken pipeline. Or I don't want to get the shovel out. I don't want to turn the water off to stop the flow of water, from this pipe that is literally bursted. I don't want to do it, because then I'll have to start digging, and then I'll have to start cutting the pipe. Then I'll have to get the pieces to splice that pipe and fix that crack in it. I'd have to do work. So imagine me, if my pipeline, or you, if your pipeline in your yard or whatever, it literally starts, it busts, and you got water flowing all over the place. And you dig it up and you can see it, and you just stand there and you do nothing, and you just ignore it. You think that pipe, that leaking pipe, that burst water is going to go away. It's not going to go away on its own. You know the water is flowing out of your pipe because your pipe has bursted. You can see it flowing all down the road. You can see it flowing all in your yard, but you decide, I'm not going to do nothing. Guess what? It's not going to fix itself. It's not going to fix itself. That's the best example I can come with it. You ignoring a problem like that water pipe, if it's just literally flowing all over the place, it's busted, and that meter is going, and I've got thousands and thousands and thousands of gallons of water that are literally just gushing out. Not to mention, it's probably putting a strain on everybody else's water, because it's taking all the water, because they're all tied in. Could you imagine that? If I decide I'm not going to, that bust water pipe, I see it's busted. I see the water coming up from the ground, and I just dig a little bit. I just imagine this. If you don't face it, you can't fix it. So just imagine you got the water bubbling up out of the ground, and I think, well, I'm just going to dig a little bit. And the more I dig, the more that water gushes. And I think, oh no, I don't want to get to it. I do not want to dig further, because I'm going to see something that I do not want to see. Okay, imagine that. Imagine yourself doing that. I don't want to dig deeper, because I think it's going to be a busted pipe. Of course it's a busted pipe. The more you dig into the ground, the water is flowing up the more and more, and the water is filling up the hole that you're digging. But imagine you just keep digging and digging, and then you think, well, maybe I should probably turn off the main water valve. But you just keep digging. Well, no, see, there's your problem right there too. You got to turn off the main valve, because you don't want it to continually digging. But imagine you just turn it off and think, well, I don't have to worry about it anymore, because there's no water that's going to be bubbling up out of this pipe anymore, because I ain't got no water going through it. I'm just going to let it be. I'm not going to call nobody to fix it. I'm not going to fix it myself. I'll just leave it turned off. Well, hello. That's your lifeline right there. You ain't going to get no water to your house or anything like that. It's going to literally sit there underground in that space that it's in, busted, until you decide, well, perhaps maybe I should call somebody, because you're going to need the water. You're going to need the water into your house. So you're going to have to get it fixed, but you have to face it. You have to be willing to go out there. Sometimes it's like people. It's like people. You got things buried deep beneath the surface, or you got situations in your life you do not want to face. You don't want to. You don't have to. You don't want to deal with it. You don't. So it's like that bursted pipe. That water is literally bubbling up out of the ground, and you start digging, and you say, "Oh my gosh, it's filling up the hole." And then you're looking down the street. The water's flowing all down the street. You don't want to pick up the phone. You don't want to call nobody. Oh, I'll just let it flow. I'll just let it flow. It ain't bothering nobody. Hello, it's running in front of everybody else's house. You're putting a strain on the water. No, I'm about done. I'm about done. It was perfect. If you can't face it, how can you fix it? It's not going to fix itself. That water line is not going to fix itself. Somebody's got to repair it. They've got to repair that water line. Either you got to turn the water off, get your shovel, dig, 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 dig to get to the root of the problem, uncover it, splice out what does not belong there, cut it, and repair it. Repair it. Make sure you repair it really good. And then check it for leaks. Say, did I do a good enough job? Turn the water on, see if you did a good enough job. If you did, then you can just bury it. Bury it. And then when you turn the water on, you'll notice, oh, wow, there's no more flowing of water into the street. My yard is not getting flooded with water anymore. Why? Because you decided that instead of just standing there, ignoring it, looking at it, and not doing anything, you were going to do something. You know it. You could see it. I got to go, you all. I'm down here straightening up in the basement is what I'm doing. Not in this room, in the other part. I got things I'm trying to organize. So thank you for watching. Thank you, Apple Brooks Honey, and thank you all for your comments. You all know you got to face things. You can't pretend like something is not there. There is no way on God's green earth, he got some greenery, that a person could stand out there in their yard and look down the street and be in denial that what they're seeing, which is actually water flooding their whole entire yard. Imagine if it was your sewage that got all flooded the inside of your house. Imagine that. Could you ignore the stench from it? Could you ignore that? I guess you could if you wanted to, but it would really take a lot of strength to ignore that type of stuff. It does no good to just stand there. No, you can't. You can't sit there and say, I don't see that water flowing. There's nothing. No, you know there's a problem. The water is literally flooding your yard. It's flowing into the street. You got a busted water pipe. You can't ignore some things in this life. The longer you ignore them, they're not going to go away. They're not going to go away. You got to face whatever it is, no matter how small it is. It's like you got that splinter in your hand and you can see the tip of the splinter, but you're sitting there whining, complaining, oh, it hurts, I got a splinter in my hand. But you're not willing to get that needle and literally lift that splinter out. You're not, that's something teeny tiny so that you don't feel the pain anymore from it. You've got to be willing to face it. You got to be willing to do something because issues are not going to fix themselves. I'm going to go. I am getting shadow banned on this YouTube channel, just so you know that's right, because you're not supposed to talk about fixing yourself. You're not supposed to talk about healing. You're not supposed to talk about any of that. You're not. But we do. We know we have to do it. So I'm going to go, and if you have not hit that subscribe button, please hit that subscribe button. Please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed. Thank you to everyone who has joined. And thank you, Apple Brooks Honey. If there's any other moderator, thank you. Thank you all for your comments. And with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours, love you. Have a wonderful rest of your morning, you all. And hello. I hope you all have a beautiful, beautiful day.